What's up, everybody? Me and Cookie out enjoying the day. We're out here outside of Portland. Nice place to spend the day. Make my delivery tomorrow morning. But I want to talk a little bit about all this new AI stuff that's coming out. Actually, I think it's all great. I'm scared to death of it. There's reasons to be scared of it. Anybody who's not scared of it just doesn't understand what it is. But it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. The biggest fear that I have with it is the people trying to push for regulation. Now, I'm not saying that, we don't need some kind of tool in place with it. But here's the problem. For those of you that don't understand what this AI can do, let's say you got your hands on a AI like CHAT-GPT4 that is connected to the internet, can scan the internet live, and so you want to know, based on everything that's in the news around the world, the ramifications of that news, what's going on in money markets, what's going on in the stock market, what kind of tech companies are coming online. So now you want to know what's your best investment to maximize your yield. If only the rich and powerful, aka the regulators and the people writing the regulation, have access to that technology, then we're going to be even more screwed than we are already when it comes to the wealth gap, in not only in the country but in the world. I mean, if they don't want this in the hands of some people, then they shouldn't want it in the hands of anybody. I mean, that's the moral argument. I get the argument about people being able to do bad things, but what's his name? Hotz. I can't remember his first name. But like he said, if someone's going to go online and ask GTP for how to blow up their neighborhood, then they don't have the technical skills to blow up their neighborhood, even if they got the information. I mean, let's put this another way. Let's say you're someone that you do want to blow up your neighborhood. Oh, that's cool. It's going to land out there and let's say you're someone that you go to school, you get the technical skills to do such a thing. What's to stop you from doing it? You were educated to do it. So should we just start restricting what schools and universities can teach? Should we start restricting chemistry courses, where in a chemistry course you can learn how to make mustard gas using Dawn soap and ammonia? I don't know. I don't think we should. I mean, people, they learn these skills and they generally use these skills for good things. So because 1% of people are doing bad things, we should just ban all universities?
Talking about good timing. Did you get that? That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. That goes against the whole foundation of how you move forward.
Look at this thing. That's moving fast, whatever it is. Well, it almost looks like a hovercraft, but it's not.
But that's the whole empowerment of ChatGPT. A lot of people are talking about this is going to take jobs. I got bad news for you. AI can already take jobs. I don't know why they haven't implemented it further, but AI can replace, right now, for the past 10 years even, or almost 10 years, AI can actually replace, I don't know, 85 to 90% of the lawyers in the world. Think about that. That's what AI is good at. AI is good at anything that is just a simple, I know to most people law is complicated, and it's the languaging of the law that's complicated, but in general, beyond the languaging, law is very simple. And it's got a very constant structure. AI can replace 85 to 90% of all the lawyers in the world right now. I mean, would you still need a lawyer in court? Yeah, you still need lawyers in court. So, there's a small group of lawyers that would still be needed. But you wouldn't need to go pay a lawyer $250 an hour to do 3 hours worth of work to draw up your divorce papers. You could pay an AI program $25 to draw up those same divorce papers. You could use that same AI to draw up legal papers for regulatory issues with a corporation for, instead of $1,500 an hour, same price pretty much, $25 to draw up them papers. So AI can already replace lawyers. Because AI works so good with algorithms, remember the first example I gave you about only the rich and powerful, the people writing the regulations, having access to AI that's connected to the web, and how they can take advantage of all that information to find out what stock to invest in. AI can already do that, actually. It's not as complete as what it's becoming now. For example, it can't interpret everything going on in the news, which it's getting better at now. It's just jumped leagues. It actually can now interpret what's at least out on the web, what business is coming up, what business just sent an email to their investors that hasn't been public yet. All this stuff is out there on the internet because, a lot of this stuff runs on AWS, which is connected to the internet, and AI can read everything going across AWS, even the stuff that's encrypted. I know a lot of people are going to say it can't. It's a computer. It can. So I'm very much against the idea of regulating AI. I get the fears, I get the concerns, I even agree with the concerns, and I agree with the fears, but it should either be in the hands of none or the hands of everybody. If you're going to make that moral argument, anybody who's going to make that moral argument that that's the problem, that, these fears are so concerning, then pull the plug. Nobody should have the technology. No one at all. That's the moral high ground. Anybody who's going to take any moral high ground other than that, with the exception of saying put it in the hands of everybody, they're not telling you the truth. They're misleading you, and they're the bad guys at the end of the day. So you all need to make sure this stays in the hands of the people. It's open sourced right now, which means anybody can access it, anybody can use it, and that's the way it should be. Anybody that gives a different argument, the only exception to it would be pull the plug and nobody has the technology. And, well, let's be honest, that can't be done because it's already in the hands of other actors. such as China, and not just countries like China. I mean, China, yeah, there's not going to get into nothing against the people of China, but the government. But, that's the problem. It's in the hands of all governments right now. Do you think the United States is any better than China when it comes to the government? Governments are all the same. They all put on different faces, but at the end of the day, they're all the same. So if it's already in the hands of the government, we want it in the hands of the people. I mean, look at the way the lawmakers here in the U.S. used to take advantage of knowing what laws were coming up, and so going and making stock investments ahead of time so that they can game the market. You don't think that they're not going to be doing the same with AI? Level the playing field. Let everybody have that option. Let everybody who's smart enough to figure out how to ask the questions right, ask the questions. And yeah, granted, Jeff Bezos can buy 500 million shares in a startup company where, people like me, I might be able to buy 3 or 4 shares in that startup company, but it's still a level playing field because I have the same opportunity that he has based on my financial situation. That's a level playing field. What we have, what we'll have if they regulate this AI technology will not be a level playing field. Doesn't matter whether it's the people you think are the good guys has the technology, or the people you think are the bad guys have the technology. If they're not willing to share it with everybody, they're all the bad guys.